catapult you ahead. Sometimes God does things gradually, little by little, but there are moments where God will thrust you 20 years ahead. He'll not only make up for lost time, but he'll accelerate things. David went overnight from working in the shepherd's fields, the lowest position, to working with the king, the highest position. He didn't have to make it happen, try to manipulate things, talk people into helping him. The king sent for him. Like with David, you're going to see opportunity happen. We stood in faith, but when it's been a long time and we don't see anything improving, it's easy to get discouraged and think that it wasn't meant to be. But just because you've given up doesn't mean that God has given up. God doesn't abort dreams. The delays, the detours, the disappointments didn't stop God's plan. What he started in your life, he's going to finish. And the scripture says, what God has purposed, who can annul it? It may seem like what you're believing for could never come to pass. It's too late. The odds are against you. God is saying, your time is coming. He has not forgotten about you. He has seen the lonely nights. He's seen the unfair situations, the times you're doing the right thing and not getting the credit. The illness isn't improving. The child isn't doing better. Voices whisper, it will never change. Don't believe those lies. Healing is coming. Promotion is coming. Freedom is coming. God has already put it on the schedule. The date has already been ordained. Psalm 102 says, there is a set time for favor. You keep honoring God, doing the right thing, and you're going to come in to some of your set times, times that God will show out in your life, times that you will see explosive blessings. You were struggling in your finances. You didn't see how you could get ahead, and suddenly you're promoted. Suddenly your business takes off. Suddenly you get that scholarship. The medical report says that you'll never get well, but suddenly your health turns around. Suddenly you break that addiction. Suddenly your child gets back on course. What happened? You came in to your set time. If you could see what God has on your calendar, you wouldn't worry about the client you lost. You wouldn't lose sleep over that family member. You wouldn't get discouraged over that legal situation. You may have some obstacles that are not changing. You're praying and believing, but instead of complaining, living discouraged all through the day, Father, thank you that my time is coming. I'm not moved by what I see. I'm moved by what I know, that you've already set the time to favor me. You've already set the time to heal me. You've already set the time to turn this around. Get your hopes up. It's not too late. You didn't miss your chance. You wouldn't be alive if God didn't have something amazing in your future. David was 17 years old when the prophet Samuel came to his house to choose one of his father's sons as the next king of Israel. David had 7 older brothers. God is more powerful than what's on the outside. David was anointed to be the next king, but he didn't go to the palace. He went back to the shepherd's fields where he was before and took care of his father's sheep. He was anointed before he was appointed. He knew big things were in him. He knew he was going to leave his mark. But month after month, he was stuck in the lonely shepherd's fields, doing what seemed like a menial job, feeding sheep, cleaning up their waste, shoveling manure. He could have thought, God, you said I would be the king. You had Samuel anoint me. Why am I still stuck out here? I have so much more in me. But David understood this principle that his time was coming, that what God promised was already on the schedule, that the date had already been set. And even though David was doing a menial thing, taking care of sheep, he kept being his best. Nobody was watching him. He didn't have a supervisor. He wasn't clocking in. He could have slacked off, done just enough to get by, but David went the extra mile to watch over those sheep. He fought off wild animals, kept them from harm, made sure they had food and water. He had a spirit of excellence. And because he proved to God he would be faithful taking care of sheep, God trusted him to take care of his people. And if you're not faithful in the wilderness, how can God trust you to be faithful in the promised land? Like David, most of the time you will be anointed before you're appointed. You'll have the promise, the dream, the calling, but you won't go straight to the throne. You'll go back to the shepherd's fields. How you respond when you're anointed but not appointed will determine whether you make it to the palace. You have to be your best right where you are. You may have bigger things in you. You know you're going to. His father didn't believe in him, but now the king was asking for him by name. People don't determine your destiny. And someone may have put you at a disadvantage. You keep doing the right thing and your time is coming. Promotion will come calling your name. Opportunity will come looking for you. The right people will come tracking you down. God knows how to vindicate you. He knows how to cause you to stand out. Imagine Jesse hearing the knock on the door. He answers it, and it's the king's right-hand men standing there dressed in their military uniforms, holding their armor. Jesse thought, what in the world are they doing at my house? Am I in trouble? Have I done something wrong? The main man speaks up and says, King Saul wants your son David to come serve him in the palace. Nobody in David's family paid attention to him. They didn't give him any credit, but now the king was calling for David. I'm sure Jesse nearly passed out. Word quickly spread throughout the neighborhood. The king asked David to come work for him. Now David is the talk of the town, esteemed, honored, looked up to. In one moment, he went from the background to the foreground, from being discounted to being admired. You may have had unfair things happen. People left you out, tried to discredit you. God saw what happened. He's keeping the records. He hasn't forgotten about you. It may seem like you're falling behind. You could never reach your dreams now. It's too late. You've been stuck out in the shepherd's fields for too long. No, your time is coming. Keep doing the right thing when the wrong thing is happening. Keep being good to people that are not being good to you. You're going to come into one of these set times where God catapults you ahead. Sometimes God does things gradually, little by little, but there are moments where God will thrust you 20 years ahead. He'll not only make up for lost time, but He'll accelerate things. David went overnight from working in the shepherd's fields, the lowest position, to working with the king, the highest position. He didn't have to make it happen, try to manipulate things, talk people into helping him. The king sent for him. Like with David, you're going to see opportunity that comes looking for you that puts you years down the road. You're going to think, how did I get here? I didn't have the qualifications. I wasn't next in line. This should have taken me my whole life. But suddenly, God is going to thrust you ahead. Not our ways. He doesn't always take us down the path that we thought. There will be times that doors close that don't make sense. People that should be for us are not around. We're doing the right thing, but the wrong thing keeps happening. None of this is a surprise to God. He's already lined up the breaks you need, the open doors, the right people, the healing, the baby. It's already on your schedule. This young man attended a seminar for students wanting to get into medical school. One option they mentioned was working for the armed services. When he heard that, something ignited on the inside. He knew that's what he wanted to do. He met a gentleman there that took an interest in him and went out of his way to put in a good word for him. Recently, this young man received the news that he was accepted into the Armed Forces Medical School. He would not only receive a full scholarship, not have any cost for his medical education, but that he would be paid a very substantial salary while he attended college. What happened? He came in to one of his set times. If God had not closed those other doors, if a school would have accepted him earlier, he would have never seen this opportunity that was more than he could imagine. He never dreamed he would come out of medical school with no debt, being paid the whole time. Someone would have paid me, I would have stayed in college. If you won't cast away your confidence, God will richly reward you. You may have gone through some disappointments. Things didn't turn out the way you hoped. You don't know what God is up to. The reason He closed those other doors is because He has something better. Don't be discouraged by what didn't work out. Stay in faith. Your time is coming. The right opportunity is on the way. It's going to be better than you thought. That person that walked out of your life, it wasn't fair. It was painful, but there's hope in your heart, knowing that God has already lined up these set times for you. If you only look at your situation in the natural, you'll get discouraged because God puts dreams in our hearts that we can't accomplish on our own. We don't have the resources, the connections, the experience. This is so we'll have to depend on Him. We face challenges that we can't overcome by ourselves. A sickness, an addiction, people that are more powerful. It looks like we're stuck, but deep down you have to know the forces that are for you are greater than the forces that are against you. You may feel outnumbered, at a disadvantage. The sickness seems bigger. The addiction stronger. Keep reminding yourself, your time is coming. One touch of God's favor, one set time, and things will suddenly change. Nothing can stand against our God. No sickness is too great. No addiction too strong. No enemy too powerful. I talked to a gentleman that was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. The doctors only gave him 18 months to live. He heard me tell how my mother quoted healing scriptures when she was sick with cancer, and how she defied the odds. And instead of accepting it and thinking his life was over, he started quoting these scriptures and thanking God that he was restoring health back into him. The psalmist said, when darkness overtakes the righteous, light will come bursting in. When you're in a tough time, seems like there's no way out, the odds are against you, it's easy to live worried, fall apart, but you have to remind yourself that God has already set the time for light to come bursting in. He's already set the time for healing, set the time for breakthroughs. Bursting means it's going to happen suddenly. You didn't see it coming. You can't explain it. It's out of the ordinary. When I spoke with this young man, he said that yesterday was the end of the 18 months. That's how much time he was given to live. He went back to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor said, we can't explain this. We don't know how it happened, but we can't find any cancer in your brain. You are perfectly well. When you come into your set time, God will make things happen that you couldn't make happen. He can do what medicine cannot do. He's not limited by what limits us. We're natural. He's supernatural. You may be in darkness, but instead of complaining about the darkness, being depressed by the darkness, now I've done what Eli did. I've announced what God said. You have to do like Hannah and say, yes, God, this is for me. Let this seed take root in your spirit. Don't let it just be another encouraging message. Let it ignite your faith. Let it come alive on the inside. You are on the verge of seeing God do something amazing. It's not far off. It's not way off in the distance. You are close to your breakthrough. You are in the final stretch. Now, don't cast away your confidence. This is not the time to get discouraged. This is not the time to talk defeat. This is the time to stir up your faith. Turn up your praise. Talk like it's en route. All through the day, Father, thank you that my time is coming. Thank you that you're the way maker, the promise keeper, the miracle worker. If you'll do this, God said, you will be richly rewarded. I believe and declare light is about to come bursting in. God is about to surprise you. He's going to do something that you've never seen, something that will thrust you to a new level. Negative situations are about to suddenly turn around. Like with Joseph and David.